Hey guys, it's Angie. Today I want to share with you 10 hobbies that you can try this summer. A lot of them are indoor, so you don't really need to worry about getting hot. They're pretty much, for the most part, all free. So let's just jump into it. So the first one is gaming. I have an old Switch that I bought secondhand off a Facebook Marketplace. I think it was a post-pandemic purchase. It was like we're getting out of the pandemic and Switch was sold out and I had to buy it secondhand. I couldn't buy it new even if I wanted to. And so I ended up dusting that off about a month ago, and one of the things that I really love doing is giving Ivy a controller that's not connected to anything so she can feel like she's participating. And I'm playing Animal Crossing, I'm playing Just Dance. I just got Just Dance 2024 at a steep discount. So that I've really enjoyed. I had some friends over not long ago and we were dancing, we were having so much fun, and I was a little bit annoyed because they were killing it and doing so good when I'm supposed to be the token dancer of the friend group. But I think the thing is that I was watching the character in the program instead of looking at the moves that go at the bottom. So if you haven't heard or even thought about Just Dance in a long time, check it out. There's tons of online classes, which goes into the next point. So if you don't have a Switch and you're still interested in learning how to dance or just having fun, there are fitness dance classes, and I would say those would be fall under two people that come to mind are Jessica Bass James, and she's based out of Knoxville, Tennessee, which is not far from me relatively, but it doesn't make sense for me to like drive 2 hours to take a 1 hour class and then drive 2 hours back. But I do feel a little bit of a connection knowing that she's so close to Nashville. Jessica is doing a really great job. She has this program where she'll do online certifications where people can learn and be part of her training and teach other people. It's almost like her own Zumba, but she posts a lot of stuff online for free. Like there is so much there that I can't even keep up. I don't even know if I can justify paying for online dance classes when I know that she is posting that stuff. Now, her style is a hybrid where you're doing some repetitive choreography, but the styles are so fun. They're very modern, of fun, and the music is great. I personally love hip hop and rap, and her channel is doing a lot of that. Now, if hip hop and rap is not your cup of tea per se, I would say that Fitness Marshall is also free. Tons of great classes, all levels. There's like, I love that there are playlists and labels that say beginner, intermediate, and then advanced, or like a very high intensity workout. Most of them are pretty much on the other side where it's beginner and intermediate, and you'll get a good sweat, and it's a lot of fun. So much fun. Now, they do have some hip hop, but there's more of a mix with pop music as well. I would say it's akin to like the top 40 of dance videos. And so we have Jessica Bass James, Fitness Marshall. There's also this guy on YouTube who is doing TikTok tutorials. Let me find him. I personally have learned several dances from this guy. I want to make sure that I get his name right. Abrar Bawazier. Bawazier. It's so interesting. I feel like he's either Indian American or an Indian dance teacher where he has this studio and he does a really good job of breaking it down in a beginner friendly way. But he is doing this for TikToks. And because of copyright and audio sounds, you don't really normally get it, but he'll tell you which part and kind of hum or say parts of the song. So it's easy for you to jump into. So Abrar, you are doing a great job. I've learned a handful of TikToks already, and I need to go deeper into your channel. That is it for dance. And so we talked about gaming, we talked about dance. The next thing is trying a new makeup look. Sometimes I fall back to the looks that I know and it can get a bit stale. So I want to make sure that I'm pushing myself to explore different makeup styles. I'm not saying buy new makeup. I'm saying find different ways to apply it. Like maybe for instance, if you are always doing a cat eye wing, what would it look like to try puppy eye wing? What would it look like to try like liner on the bottom when you don't normally put it on the bottom? Come here, honey. Do you want to say hi?
Da, 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 da. Mommy's baby.
Yes, you're mommy's baby. Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is trying out a new makeup look. So for me, I've always maybe fallen back on the techniques that I already know work for me, but sometimes it's a little bit boring. It can get a little bit stale. So, what I want to explore with you guys is watching different tutorials, bringing that back again, and seeing what are some styles that you can try and play with and experiment with. You know, when the stakes are low, like you're just home, you're hanging out, maybe you're about to go out with a couple friends. Who knows? The worst thing that could happen is that you need to wipe off the makeup because you don't feel comfortable. The best thing that can happen is that you have uncovered new styles, you've experimented, you played, and you can have a fun photo out of it. So, what comes to mind is I recently did a K-pop inspired look, and for that one, I just used the makeup that I had. The main difference is that for me, what I ended up doing was doing straighter eyebrows. And then the other thing that I did was a different lip style. And I also tried to lighten or add more shimmer to the bottoms and the whites of the lower eyes. So that one was super, super fun. But of course, I'll put it in a clip, and I think the thing that really did it for me was the color contacts. So I know that is a little bit more pricey and it takes a lot more time, but you can still practice different eye looks without all of that overhead. So this is an opportunity to dig back into the archives and look at good old YouTube and think, what are some looks that I want to try whose makeup is inspiring? The next thing is iPad drawings. So if you hopped onto the bandwagon and got an iPad pencil and an iPad. Doesn't matter how old your iPad is. If you have something like that, it's really fun. You can even do digital coloring on the iPad. I personally bought the iPad Pro years and years ago. I got that and the pencil so that I could practice illustration. Now, I have long since not been super engaged in that hobby, and I think it's exciting to be able to revisit it. I brought it back out and charged my pencil like last week or something like that. And it was really fun. I was like, I forgot how fun this was, even though it was not as tactile as a pen or a pencil or crayons even, but just finding a way to be creative in a very low risk environment. Yeah, and it's also free if you happen to have one. If you don't have one, there are coloring apps you can download for free, and you'll just zoom in and choose a color, and it's very fun, pretty inexpensive. All right. This next one is fun. This is propagating plants. I have had recently a lot of success with pothos. I think the pothos plants are very forgiving to people who don't have the greenest of thumbs. So one of the things that I found with the pothos is that I wanted to propagate it in the water for a lot longer than I would have thought. I figured when it sprouted the little root, it would be ready to go. But after watching some more videos on YouTube, I learned that it can take a lot more. You just allow the roots to really develop further. And then the second thing that I learned is that you'll take the pothos branch that you're ready to propagate, but you can actually make a bunch of little babies with that. You can cut at every node or every nub where there's like that little stem looking thing. You can take one leaf cutting, and that one can go into like 4 to 5. And so mine is doing so well. I'm so happy. And it's just like a little free moment because I took this cutting from another plant. So that was free. And then I took it apart and it's almost overflowing in the little pot. So I'm ready to break that up and let it flourish. So that is propagating plants. You might know someone in your life who is a plant lover. You can say like, hey, I'm curious about trying to grow plants or propagate them. Can I have a cutting? And if you have these friends in your life, they are so excited. They will like be more than happy to give you a cutting. And I think that's even more fun than going to the store and buying a plant, don't you think? It's camaraderie, it's a friendship, and then you also get to talk to somebody and they're really excited. It's like, oh yeah. Just water it, blah, blah, blah. They'll give you the instructions. So just give it a try. It's low cost. I'm pretty sure you've got a container. Like you have got a pot, you've got a candle that you can wash out. There's something in your house that you can use to grow this little plant booger. All right. The next one is Thrift Flips. Now, this one, I talked about how I wanted this list of ideas and recommendations to be low cost and also maybe like easy to jump into. When you think about thrift flips, or at least for me, I've seen some people do really incredible stuff. They'll take them, they'll deconstruct the fabric and replace seams and add new zippers, and it becomes this beautiful thing. Like one, for example, you can take a very long garment dress and turn it into this cute little two-piece set. Now, I love watching those things. It's definitely out of my skill level. So what I mean by a thrift flip is maybe you can learn how to hem some jeans. Another one would be like learning how to sew up. Maybe you bought an outfit that is missing a button. Learn how to put on the button. So these are like little baby entryway points. It's not something too crazy, but if you've never dived into Thrift Flip YouTube, Thrift Flip TikTok, you really need to check it out because it's inspirational. It's inspirational and it's really exciting to see. And it doesn't even have to be something that you thrifted. It could be something that is sitting in the back of your closet that's not getting enough love, that was making its way to the thrift store anyway, to the Goodwill drop off. So you might as well give it a chance at another life. Okay, so pretty much with thrift flips, it's so easy to find very inexpensive clothes. I found even like the romper, this jumper that I'm wearing that is super cute and like hot pink. I got it from Facebook Marketplace secondhand, and so you can really get, this one was like I bought it as an individual item, so it was a little bit more expensive than as opposed if you were buying a bulk item of clothes like a big bag. I've done that too, and I just love buying secondhand. It's so much fun. It's like a grab bag of goodies and you never know what you're going to find. So I like to get something secondhand, or you could go back of your closet and see if something wasn't fitting that well. Could you try to like cinch it in a little bit? Sometimes they'll stretch out in the chest area, or maybe there will be like too much for your comfort for the workplace. So you can find a way to like hem a little, sew a little stitch to keep the blouse closed. Like you could just start with a hole, sew up a hole or a tear or a rip, and just practice that way. All right, so this next one is doing your nails, learning how to shape and polish your own nails. I'm sure you have access to nail polish, and it is very cheap to try, so give it a shot, learn how to do your nails, and if you're ready to elevate and get to the next step, maybe you can introduce some nail art. Just need a toothpick, some small detailed thing, and just try to do a few lines or something like that, or polka dots, who knows. It will be fun to explore. If it doesn't turn out the way you like, then just remove it. What's a big deal? Okay, so this next one is to take self-portraits. This is a really fun one because I feel like the art of taking a really good selfie is gone. I'm not talking about front-facing camera and that classic thing. I'm talking more about how can you style. Like I love doing a photo shoot. You just put a phone, put it on a tripod. You can use a self timer or a clicker, and then just go at it and like have fun and revisit some of those old MySpace roots and get a whole photo shoot going on. Especially if you can do it with a friend. You're like, hey, I'm bored. Let's get creative. You can go outside. You can go into Pinterest and get some ideas. There's tons of fun ideas on how to do a photo shoot at home. One that has gotten my attention recently is this idea of taking a projector and then playing like ocean waves, so that when you pose, there's a layer of ocean waves in front of you. You could also do like a butterfly scene or like a sunset. So you can really play with a projector and get some really creative and cool shots. The next one is going to be trying a new hairstyle. I know that my hair personally is kind of boring. It's just straight, it's long, and I recently got into doing heatless hair curls just because I felt like it doesn't take me long to put it up at night and I can wake up and feel fabulous. And so that has been a fun experiment. I haven't really done much in terms of braids or new things, but I have tried the heatless curls and the heatless blowouts, and that's been a lot of fun. So if you haven't had a lot of success with that before, maybe try it again. Like break out those old goodies and see if you can practice the technique and give it another go. All right, this last tip is going to be a no-brainer. A hobby that you can try to stay cool in the summer is to read. I think everybody thinks about reading when it comes to cold weather stuff, but with this heat, like we're talking about high 90s. We're talking like this is boiling. I don't even want to think about going outside. I'm starting to sweat with the idea of it. I just want to lay down with a good book right under the AC, also with a blanket, and just enjoy. I want to dive into a good book and let time pass. And if that is something that is interesting to you, you'll have to check out my last video on how to enter your Kindle Girl era for some ideas on how to start e-readers. If you've struggled to find a book that you really like, I would say you got to enter into different genres. Maybe the only things that you have tried so far are nonfiction and that doesn't appeal to you. I would say go to Goodreads, learn more about the different varieties. There's historical fiction you can get into, memoirs are fun, memoirs from comedians are very fun and funny. There's also fantasy, there's romance, there's so many different areas. So I wouldn't say that you're not into reading until you have tasted a bit more of the variety. Right now, I'm currently reading Fourth Wing, which is super, super popular. It took me forever to get off of the wait list of Libby, and then I let one of those cycles pass through. And so I was like, fine, everything's fine. And then I got back on the list, got the Fourth Wing book, and I'm really excited so far. It's been really good. Fourth Wing is fantasy. I've only recently gotten into fantasy over the past year, and I'd say if you have struggled and you know that fantasy isn't your vibe, there's so many things that you can dabble into. There's self-help if you're feeling like really specific on something. There's sci-fi. It's like watching a movie. It's a good vibe. I like being able to sit and read. And if that's something you're interested in learning more about, you can check out the last video that I posted on how to enter your Kindle Girl era. And I give you some tips on how to get free books over there just through your library on the Libby app. So real quick, we're going to do a quick rundown of all of the ones that I've mentioned so that we can all beat the heat and try some new hobbies. So first was gaming. Second is learning a dance or trying dance fitness or a TikTok. Third is try a new makeup look. Fourth is iPad illustrations or iPhone drawings. Fifth is propagating plants. Six is thrift flips. Seven is nail art. 8 is taking self-portraits. 9 is trying a new hairstyle. And then 10 is reading. Let me know if any of these appeal to you. Let me know if I'm missing anything on this list. And I'll catch you later. Bye.